just woke up, logged in, walked into my base, and it has been farming tons of resources for me while I have been asleep. Thanks to this little deviant here, Mr. Beaver Boy, getting me crystals, logs, 358. This one giving me another amount of logs. Then we got the Digby boys, which have been farming sulfur, copper, iron ore, 220, 220, 120, 120, 100, and even more. Yes, gentlemen, you're able to make a fully autonomous base where all your deviants are happy at any time that is consistently producing resources, including this little eel boy who's boosting your energy production by another 12 watts for this respective generator. Now let me show you the location of all these deviants, how to pick them up because they're partially just on the map and you can just get them there. Which ones are absolutely invaluable for combat, including our little gel friend, who's the first one we're getting and one of the actual best ones. Let's start with a logging beaver, and you want multiple of those because this one has only skill rating 1 and activity rating 1, where he does have a cool characterization that brings back bonus crystals when he's coming home. For this beaver, you're teleporting all the way bottom right Deathsville again, and you can do this at the very beginning of the game. And what we'll do is we'll ride to this star that I pinned here, so the right side of the bridge here at the water. Since the beaver, as many other deviants, are actually open world drops, now everyone could loot them, and there's a trick how to infinitely farm them back to back to back to back. Now I'm just riding there to see if he's currently available, and there he is, opening the map just to show you, right next to our star here at the water. There's my level 1 logging beaver. I can pick him up. This could be one now that has a 10 skill rating, 5, 2, 3, and different abilities. Now you're riding back to Deathsville straight away. And the interesting part is we are in world number 3 currently. But in world number 5, 6, or 7, the beaver might still be there. Which means we're going to be going to the teleporter. And on the teleporter, we're swapping over to world number 9 now. And oh wonder, world 9, top right corner, you can see it in the distance. There is the logging beaver again. Already 2 more logging beavers. That's how simple it is to get the boys. That's a level 2 one. So already better than anything I currently have. And before you're saying you can't use that many of these beavers, under Tier 3 Ascendance, Securement Unit Expansion, you can now get 10. And then later down here, Securement Unit Expansion plus 20. You can have 5, 6, 7 of these beavers just going away, getting you all the wood while you sleep. Now, no worries. We'll also go over how to make them the happiest, easiest, especially when it comes down to crops and plants, because that one is a little bit weird, but we have a good setup that consistently just keeps repeating itself. Next up would be the Digby boy, and as you can see, that's skill rating 2 and activity rating 3. This dude is farming like crazy. His mood is just generally lower than some of the other Digbys. The good thing about the Digby boy is if you're pickaxing away at these nodes, you could actually get them. I think mostly from tin ore, they do drop, but they're also available in the world. Now, I found personally that I never discovered a Digby with a drill. But if I'm using my pickaxe to farm the nodes, I've gotten 5. Don't worry though, there's one you can pick up in the world very early. Next to Deathsville, up there at Thruwil, there's one waiting for you. And from the main road, you're going all the way to the building here where my mouse is, left of the symbol. It is this run-down stone building with a bridge over it and the bus below, just to give you a feeling. And what we need to get is upstairs. Now, for me, the easiest way was not really going through. I'm going to the wooden building behind. Just make up the stairs. Over the porch. And then you'll find at the sandbags on the other building, a Digby boy, you will have to give 30 copper ore, and then he lets you catch him. I have him already, so can't show you. But this is essentially, again, wooden bridge plus below Digby boy. Otherwise, farm the ores away and get your own Digby boys. Silver ore seems to work very well. Again, keep in mind, mostly using your pickaxe. That already has you covered in the wood and ore farming department. Your lads are just going away and getting whatever is in your territory. Make sure that you actually have things in your territory. Because if I don't have tungsten in my territory, if it's outside of it, because that is where it is, then they won't farm this. Gotta be in a rich area. And if you already under infrastructure have the logging and the mining platform unlocked, then if your area again is rich on these resources, they will also operate these platforms. This one, for example, is making 300 logs every 60 minutes, where this one is pumping 72 tungsten every 60 minutes. Gonna be ripping that out, and then they continue to even make more tungsten and ore. It's amazing. And this is actually on the low end because I was in a region where he was making over 200 tungsten every 60 minutes. Fantastic. Now we get this beautiful eel here. It's called the electric eel. Mine has a skill rating of 2, activity rating of 3, and it latches onto a power source and boosts that one. Interesting is, right now it gives me plus 12 power on my generator here. 1 eel, 1 power source. You can have 2, 3, 4 eels, each boosting a respective power source by a lot. I recommend getting 2 because this eel, if he's sad and out of deviant power, you'll lose the power that he gave you bonus. So you kind of want to have 2 that always give you that power surge. And for the eel, we're teleporting down to Mayor's Market. Below Debtsville, the next area you get to. So that's already level 10, 15, you can get your eel. And this will require you to do fishing. Yes. Get yourself a fishing rod. Then you're driving downwards from where you got out to this dock here. You see this pronged dock symbol? There's a vendor there that does actually sell you bonus bait so that you don't even have to worry about crafting that. The vendor is not shown on the map because the game is evil. And we're now at the docks. There is Marjorie. She does tell you the recipe to actually make the bait, but you can buy the bait also for 50 energy link, which is kind of okay. And then you'll be pulling out your fishing rod and you essentially just fish. It's quite simple. I caught my eel on my first try. It's actually a bit of a scam. You might get the message, cannot fish here, cannot fish here, cannot fish here, because right now there is no fish. So you got to find like the location where you can actually throw it in. And there will be a fishing event happening here every now and then where the fishing goes absolutely crazy, which will be the best time to actually get yourself the eel. And the same goes for fishing as for everything else. Just walk back to Mayor's Market, so the quick teleport, and change worlds. If you don't have enough fish there anymore, if there's no fish right now, if you cannot fish anywhere, because in another world, there might be more fish or the event happening straight away. The next one I'm going to show you is absolutely crazy. And it's so must have, it's not even funny anymore. And that is currently our Harvaseed. It gives you an item called Living Armor. Activates when HP drops below 20%, recovers 100% HP within 5 seconds before losing Chloro Armor. And for the next 10 minutes, Chloro Armor will not take effect. The Harvaseed essentially creates the material, Hardvine, for you to make this living armor. And it's so invaluable for boss fights, for pushing through silos, for literally anything in the game. And you'll get this one for killing the second region boss as the Gaia Cliff Monolith. If you have it already, for the love of God, use it. If you haven't done that boss yet, as soon as you have it, put it to good use. This gets followed up by our friend, the Fetch a Bunny. This Fetch a Bunny automatically gathers shrubs when activated. The higher the deviant energy level, the more efficient the gathering is. And he picks up everything that's around. Blueberries, seeds for planting, whatever is available in your territory will be fetched. That one is officially my favorite because it's so fun to get. From Mayor's Market again, we're riding to this area. This little mountain next to the Sunbury farm. And for this respective quest, it's important to have an axe with you, and it needs to be, I think, at least steel, or this won't work. As you're getting to this region, you see this monumental tree. I mean, this is hard to miss, right? You get the broken delta that I marked here, and you get this monumental tree, like ginormous. the skyscraper levels. Again, will respawn if you swap in Mayor's Market the worlds, and you essentially just have to farm this tree with your axe. So it's the Bald Suppress and just hack at it away. And every single hack has the chance... Fetch a lot, bunny. There. Fetch a... Ladies and gentlemen, 2 fetch a lot bunnies. Yeah. That's how simple it can be. The Festering Gel we all have, but you might have not read the ability correctly, because the build fortification that the gel is using autonomously forms a fixed shelter that blocks attacks, correct? But allied players near the shelter recover 4% HP and 2% sanity every second. That counts for you as well. Having the Festering Gel with you is incredibly amazing, especially until tier 3, 4, to just simply refill your sanity and your HP while you're fighting, going through silos, what so on. Later, as you go further and kill some bosses, you'll actually encounter the Cannon Skull, and I highly recommend you using this one. It's, wow, crazy. Now, the final deviant that I highly recommend is the Flame Essence. Increases the production efficiency of furnaces and electric furnaces. Yep. He will essentially just sit on your furnace as soon as you activate it. So whenever I start any kind of crafting project, he'll just sit down on it and speed it up. He's also very cute. Best part, again, Broken Delta down here, Mayor's Market, and we're going to the Sutherland Chemical Plant. And in Sutherland Chemical, at the Long Boy, where I am, so that's the symbol, that's the Long Boy, up the conveyor belt, there will be sitting the Flame Toad. Well, he wasn't here right now as I recorded the video, but this is where you get him. Now, having gathered all these deviants, highly recommended to slam them in a room together. A lot of them need music, and then crops, for example. The bunny needs crops as well, and the croppy thing needs crops too. Whereas we get the electricity eel needing music. One single music device here in the middle, the radio, is able to provide music for every single deviation in the room. Whereas the red light is good for every single one there, and the red light good for him with the blue light. Then, if they need crops, you actually have to plant any kind of growing crop, like an orange. But if they need flowers, because that's the difference, these dudes, they need crops. Ergo, plant an orange, plant a cabbage, something, right? This dude here needs flowers close by, so you actually have to plant a flower. In this case, a bellflower. I think a hawthorn would also count as a flower, but the range is quite good there. And the interesting part is it doesn't actually have to grow. You don't really have to make sure that this gets anywhere. You just have to have it survive, and you don't even have to farm it. So my orange tree, when it's completely grown, I'll just let it grow. But what I do is I have my automatic irrigation going on here, which you can grab in the logistic tabs, water pumps, automatic irrigation on Transcendence 4, and the planter boxes are under Ascendance 3. And that automatic irrigation is via a water pipe connected to my osmosis purifier. That osmosis purifier is consistently making pure water. That pure water is being output downwards to the automatic irrigation, and the dirty water that it gets is from the water barrels on top. But not only from the water barrels on top, we get the water pump at the bottom, which can also get you polluted water that then is putting the water upwards with a tiny water pump. Now you can also take that pure water and the contaminated water that gets turned into impure acid in the purification tank, and you can turn this into, in the brewing barrel, into actual acid to never run out of acid again. The brewing barrels being generally a very cool thing to have all the way down here at Transcendence 4, logistics below refrigeration. Any other amazing Deviant you would like to share that you found somewhere, drop it in the comments below. I think there's one too from the HP Evolution Institute called Rebecca. But for this, I'll need be level 60 and have 3 players to farm it. More guys like this are going to follow. If you want to watch me build this base, here's the live stream for it. Wish you a fantastic good day. Take care.